If you look at technology industry, every decade or so, there is a big inflection point driven by some change in technology.
Flip it sideways.
Adobe Sensei really represents the next major productivity breakthrough.
Adobe Sensei is our artificial intelligence and machine learning platform, which powers features within our solutions.
Sensei in Japanese means teacher. We are not trying to build a general purpose AI. What makes Sensei so unique is Adobe is the only company in the industry that can marry art of content and creative expression and science of data at massive scale.
The AI is only as good as the data that it learns from. And by having really talented customers who are world-class at content creation, we can pick up best practices from them and then make them more widely available through the next generation of tools.
We have put in place a pretty robust foundation across a Creative Cloud, Document Cloud, and Experience Cloud.
The key areas that we focus on are content intelligence, computational creativity, and then the experience, which is around understanding events related to how content is delivered.
We have trained Sensei to deeply understand the language of images, videos, illustration, animation, where it will absolutely be the best teacher in the world for creativity.
It takes a lot of the tedium out of what they are working on to make sure they can focus on their creative vision.
It used to be there's a single person designing a single graphic and they spend a day on that. But then you want 26 different aspect ratios and sizes to view on different devices. You're spending most of your time doing tedious work of swapping out. And now we've figured out ways with AI and Sensei Tech to be able to do that in a second.
As a Photoshop user, with Sensei, we can actually give users tools that will learn from how they have masked hundreds of images by all users and give them tools to create automatic masks. Or in Lightroom, with Sensei image recognition service, it will automatically analyze all your images and auto tag.
It's taking away drudgery, so the creatives can focus on the truly creative part of figuring out what's the fresh idea that they want to present visually.
Content intelligence is being able to look at a piece of content and understand what's in it. And when you look at 100 million digital assets in Adobe Stock, how do you find that one thing that speaks to exactly what you're looking for? We've got to use Sensei in order to understand not just the content of images, but the abstract concepts that are expressed in those images, as well as things like the aesthetic qualities, the style, what's the poses that the models are in.
In the Adobe Experience Cloud, Adobe Sensei enables marketers to create experiences. Once you have the assets and the knowledge of who your customers are, you can match them up to deliver personalized experience. In the near term, Adobe Sensei will enable brands to create concierge-like experiences for all of their customers.
That combines everything that Sensei does in understanding content and then sort of mapping that into everything that the Experience Cloud knows about what performs well for customers like you, and being able to make that decision in the last moment and deliver an experience that's unique to you.
That actually is the holy grail in what customers tell us they want, which is if I can go all the way from how I create content in the creative tool and then have ability to personalize it at scale through Adobe Experience Cloud, then have the ability to measure it through analytics and feed the measurement back into the creative workflow saying, hey, these designs work better. That is unbelievably powerful concept of tying these things together.
There's some really interesting potential for Sensei in the document space. You can imagine documents almost read themselves for you and give you that summary that you can then probe a little deeper or ask questions of the document. Adobe Sensei is a unified framework, both for developers within Adobe, but also for our customers.
It uses AI to distill the wisdom of the crowd. By having a shared framework, it lets us to expose it to third-party partners through Adobe I/O so that there can be custom solutions built on top of Adobe's magic.
We're basically saying we have all of these Lego pieces. What are you going to build? And I'm sure they're going to build things we haven't even thought of.
At Adobe, we've always looked at long view and say, what are the breakthrough things on the horizon that can completely transform not just our business, but more importantly, what our customers can do within their businesses. And if we do this right, Adobe Sensei from a user standpoint is just a starting point of even more magical moments that they have absolutely every reason to expect from Adobe.